Just tell us when you decided to move to Israel and why, what happened before. Tell us your story.
What happened was I was playing an online game. I met my boyfriend, Roy, and we formed a relationship through the internet. He came to visit in Greece. At some point, after a few months, we realized we cannot do this, cross-country. We cannot fly all the time. Now I had a very good job and everything, so it was a bit rough in the beginning for me to leave everything behind, because my family, my friends, my job, everything was there. So we decided that it's better for both of us to move here, because we have some issues in Greece with colored skin. It's not very easy, there is a lot of racism. So we sat down, we talked about it, what is the better option for both of us, and we decided Israelis at the moment. So, okay. I didn't put a lot of thought before I come, because if I did, I wouldn't come. It's very hard to leave your home,
How long have you, since you've been visit home?
How long it's been since I went to Greece? A year and a month. No. I'm trying to go every year, because I really want to see the people, But now I started college, I'm studying to be a chef and everything, so it's not easy to
What you study to?
What
are you studying to be?
To be a chef.
Chef?
Yeah, a cook.
Cook, okay. Back in Greece, you...
What happened was, in Greece, I was a network engineer for computer networks. Now I was working on the job, it was tough, the hours that you need to work. I heard and did a research about what's going on in Israel, and I know I can get an amazing job in Tel Aviv. But we talked about it with my boyfriend, and I decided I don't want to work in an office anymore. I don't want to sit in front of a computer all day long. I feel like my time is wasted, my day is gone, everything is on my head after work, like I don't have a clean head. I want to exit the door of the job, and have nothing to think about. So I decided I want to do something with my hands and get tired with my body. And since I was starting new here either way, I decided to do something that I loved a long time, cooking. So, that's it.
Start from the before that. How is your life there? Your family?
Okay,
Sisters,
so
brothers.
my parents were divorced. My father had 2 children with my mother, me and my brother, and I have 2 more brothers with his second wife. Now my mother died because she had a very rare disease, and it was me and my brother living together, kinda. Now I was working in a very big law office at the end. I was in the IT department, but our office was very big. Let's say we had international lawyers inside. So at some point the lawyer had me negotiating about a husband bill with my brother, and he decided that he wanted me to work with him where I'm negotiating his cases, basically. So I was doing that. It was very interesting, very hard, because we had cases with kids that were being raped, and we were asking the parents what kind of money they want to drop the case and not go to the court. Things like that. It was hard, but it was also exciting.
Okay.
What else? Now, before I met Roy, I didn't have in my plan at all marriage and kids, anything like that. I wanted to have a career, have an independent life. I had in my plans to find a very good job that will take me to America, like basically to New York, because I wanted a fast-paced life and everything changed afterwards. Everything.
And
You feel like the way back at home, the citizens, the way they behave, the way they act, are different, I guess, from how the Israeli act. You
There
feel like
are
the
some
change is
differences
difficult?
because I feel that Israelis, not completely, but most of the Israelis are very rude people.
Rude people?
Very rude, yeah.
Different, that it's different.
Yes. We have some rules, for example, that in Israel do not apply.
Like
Like
what?
visiting someone and bringing them a gift. On the birthday, people here go out all together and everybody pays their drinks or their food. In Greece there isn't something like that. We go out, the birthday person is paying everything, okay, he's deciding where he wants to go and everything, and then we bring him some presents. There are things that are very hard for me to understand here. Like, I'm trying to visit someone, okay, that we meet, and I'm telling my boyfriend, we need to buy something, let's buy wine, let's buy sweets. He's telling me, why? And I'm feeling like an alien a little because the people are different here. Also, the people here have a lot of, I don't know how to explain this, like a lot of attitude, like you walk on the street, they look you straight in the eye, they don't lose eye contact. It's like scary sometimes. They're curious about something, they're gonna ask you on the spot. Like I'm speaking on the phone with my brother in Greek, and I had people in the supermarket asking, what are you, where are you from, what are you speaking? Like, it's shocking a little. There are no manners here, nothing stops anything from doing, anyone from doing whatever they want. We are a bit more Ashkenazim, Achsav, in Greece. We are a bit more, we became European. We were like that a little bit. We were, like, my father's generation was Israelis. Loud and crazy, and now we are becoming Ashkenazis.
Religion-wise, you didn't move here because you have...
When I moved here, in the beginning I knew nothing about Judaism. Nothing. I thought it's something very similar to Muslims. I didn't know anything. Okay? Now, when I moved here, I got very interested in the religion. I want to do a conversion now. But it's because I started hearing and learning about stuff that I grew up in, because I grew up in a Christian country. Now, I was never a Christian in my heart, but when it's in the culture of where you live, all the Christmas, the Easter holidays, all these things are in the culture now. They're not exactly something religious, so you follow it. Now, when I came here, it changed me a little, religion-wise. Like, it made me want to do it, because I didn't have to. We spoke with my boyfriend about it, we talked about it, he didn't want me to, but it was my decision and I want to do it.
To celebrate the holidays, the Jewish holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And what about the Christian holidays? You said it was a part of the culture.
The only thing that I really miss while I'm here is Christmas. Because in Europe, most of the Europeans now are Christians or Catholics. Okay, so Christmas is a huge thing. Like, everything lights up. In the streets, there are events, there are decorations. Here, there isn't something like that. So this I miss a little, but nothing else.
And tell us about your brother, the one that you lived with.
My brother, he's a weird person. He was owning a sex shop, and he's gay. He visits here. He loves Tel Aviv. He loves גם אני. I mean, Tel Aviv is amazing. The men in Tel Aviv are very good, very good. We have, a very unique relationship because we went through a lot. My mom had a very rare disease, she couldn't walk. So from a very early age, me and him were doing the stuff in the house. So we were going to school, coming back from school, I was cooking, he would clean the floor, like we were separating everything. So from an age of 12, we were doing everything in the house.
You are the oldest?
Yeah.
Of the two?
Like 1 year older.
It must have been tough to take the
Very.
parent role.
Very tough. But you can't do anything. Life is like that sometimes.
How was the change?
From Greece to Israel?
Yes. What you did? Tell us about the day, the month, the year that you. What happened?
The process.
When I came, you mean? Like, I don't get the question.
The day that you decided to move here and
From
sit-
that.
forward.
It was a month before I fly here. Oh, I had to visit everyone and tell them that I'm moving, that everybody was feeling that, okay, a relationship from the internet is not a real thing. So what's gonna happen? Is he gonna move? So when I visited family and friends and I started telling, next month I'm moving. Everybody was in shock. My father was in shock completely because I left him last. So I visited everybody and then I called him and I told him, listen, Saturday, which for us is the weekend, don't do anything, I'm coming to see you. We need to talk. And I went and I told him, listen, I'm leaving. He's like, what? I'm leaving. I'm going to Israel. He's telling me when, like next year? When are you planning? No, in 2 weeks. I'm gone. It was a bit hard for him to accept. He didn't believe me. He thought I'm going for vacation and I'll come back, something like that. But okay, I'm very independent that way with my family. I don't have anybody interfering with what I want to do, really. So I'm just announcing.
You have a specific thought that you remember from the plane when you moved here? Like, or this is happening, afraid, maybe
I was
some
so
type of feeling?
tired that I slept. First time, I fly a lot. I was flying a lot to Europe, a lot. So first flight in my life that I slept was the flight to Israel, the first flight. Because I was anxious from the previous night, I could not sleep at all. I was thinking, did I take everything? I was checking again, did I pack? Which I was packing for 4 days almost. It was very tiring, but I was very anxious to see how it is. Because in the beginning, when I met Roy and we talked about his country, I was asking him if the people here are going on camels. So it was a shock for me to land in Tel Aviv and realize that Tel Aviv is like a small New York, that popped out of anywhere. Because around Israel, the countries are not so developed, let's say. So it was crazy for me to see this. I was in shock. I was looking from above and I was like, wait, are we stopping here for a bit and then we're going, which place is here? I didn't know. Yeah. And then I came to the Negev. Also a shock for me. The Negev is messing with my brain because in Greece, you look out the window, in the end of the horizon, you will see sky and water. Now, in Beersheba, there isn't sea or a river or something. So I keep looking out the window still until today. I'm like here 4 years now, 4 and some months. It's still messing my brain that I don't see water anywhere. It's crazy. It's crazy.
You have anything else that you feel you need to add to give the full experience of moving to Israel? Because how was the Merkaz Klita when you came here?
I didn't come to Merkaz Klita.
Why is that?
I came for my boyfriend. I'm not an Ola. I'm not Jewish, first of all. Okay? So I did not do Aliyah. I came to visit on a tourist visa. This was the plan in the beginning. Now there is a process that you do here in the ministry, which we didn't know about with my boyfriend. I was used to travel in Europe with my ID. I had a passport I made a passport to come to Israel. So what the problem was, as a European citizen, wherever you go in the European countries, you don't need a visa. You don't need to inform anyone how long you're planning to stay. You can stay as long as you want. And I came here. After 2 months, I flew back to see my family and tell them how it is here and everything. I had to take care of some paperwork. I came back. And then we decided to do the process that couples do in the Misrad Apnim, in the ministry. Which what happened was I went back to Greece to get all the papers sorted, translate them and bring them. And on my way in the country the third time, I got stopped, deported, spent 4 days in a unit, I don't know how to explain. It was a little bit like jail, with other people that were getting deported and were waiting for their flights. I went back to Greece, we hired a lawyer, we did the procedure without me being here, and then I came back 8 months later, which was really hard. It was very difficult. Very stressful, difficult, like it had a psychological toll on me. Now everybody that tells me anything about my visa, my passport, anywhere I go that it's an official governmental place in Israel, I'm stressed because I feel like for no reason they're gonna all of a sudden arrest me. You know, it's hard. But you get used to it, you move on. I didn't know the law here and I messed it up. So what can you do?
What you hate in Israel?
I don't hate something specific in Israel, as in a habit of people. I really hate Arab people. Like, I have a problem with Muslims. Maybe it's something that comes from my heritage, because we had a war with Turkey. 300 years we were slaves to Turkey, basically, in Greece. And from that, we have a big hate for Muslim people. So, for me to come here and see Jewish people suffering, kids getting stabbed, people getting shot, young security guards getting stabbed, it's messing with my brain. I don't understand why you have them here, why you tolerate them. I don't understand. It's messing with my head. That's the only thing I really hate about Israel.
What you love about Israel?
Oh, I don't know where to start. Like, I love the people now, because in the beginning it was hard on me, you know, that people were so open and so easy to talk to, and so everybody is walking on the street, you don't know the other person, but they call you Achim, like your brother. It's weird for me, but I'm getting used to it. I'm starting to love a lot the people. I love the places, because I grew up listening about Jerusalem non-stop, and now I visited in an hour and a half. I'm there, and my friends are going crazy on Facebook about the pictures. They don't believe what they see, you know. And for me, it's every day now, so I'm loving it. I love the multicultural. You have something to learn every day in Israel. Like, you go out, you meet someone from Ethiopia, from Uganda, from India, that they actually came from the country, you know, they weren't born in Israel, they did an Aliyah. So you hear about the way they are, the food, which is very interesting to me, the way they have been keeping Judaism, because it's not easy in every country to be Jewish and celebrate, you know. You cannot put all of a sudden in Europe a sukkah, how you call this? All of it. You cannot do it. It's something that no one does. So I want to, all the time I'm trying to listen about their stories, how hard it was, if they had the family in the Holocaust, and I'm loving this. I'm loving the history of the places, the holidays, well, except Yom Kippur. It's really a hard one. But yeah, I love it here. Like I feel like home now. I can tell you that for the first 2 years it was hard. But after the 2 years, I rarely think about home. Like I'd rather if everybody could visit me here. This would be ideal for me. Because it makes you feel welcome, Israel has this culture that they're accepting all the time, olim from everywhere. And so whatever you want to do, however you want to express yourself, eat, celebrate something, it's accepted here. There is no real, oh, what is he doing? No, because you're from somewhere else, so you do things differently. And I think it's beautiful.
In Greece, it's not like that? There is no acceptance of difference?
No. It's very hard to be different in Greece. It's very hard. People not only judge you, they will attack you. Verbally at least. They will. They will do it because they're not used to it. Okay, so we were talking about how it feels in Greece. Now, here's the story. My mother was an anti-Semitic completely. She was thinking that Jewish people are ruling over the world. All the conspiracy theories, that they have all the money, they are bankers, we are their puppets, they are doing this and that. Okay. So I grew up with her, and I was hearing these thoughts. I didn't have really an opinion on the matter, because I was younger, I wasn't watching the news, it wasn't interesting to me. So I didn't really have an opinion about it. Now, my father's side, my grandmother and my grandfather were very poor, let's say. Okay, they had problems. They had 2 sons, my father and my uncle. So my grandfather left to work in Germany. When the Holocaust came, he was still in Germany, and there was no way to communicate with each other. So my grandma was very scared that he's dead. Because he didn't write for a while. He didn't call because she had no phone to call him, So he would call her. So she was sure that he's dead. And she decided for that to help Jewish people. So she was living in the port of Piraeus, like 3 minutes from the ships. And when the Jewish people arrived in Thessaloniki and Athens, they had to take some ships. There weren't a lot of planes. So she was hiding people through the night. She had a basement. She would put their families, like 10 people every night, and she would hide them until the morning comes so they can take the ship and go. Now, they told me that she should be in the list, the righteous among the nations. I tried to find with her name or the name of her father and not the last name of, because she was married, she had another last name from her husband. I tried to find, but I didn't. I'm not sure she ever gave her actual name, maybe because she was afraid, I don't know. Now she died, so we have no proof of it. We had the word of my grandfather and now my father, who lived with her, who told me when I decided to go to Israel that they did that. They never told me this story because it's hard in Greece to say that you help Jews. Still, until today. It's something that is a bit... people are not used to it. They don't like Jews. Nobody likes Jews, to be honest. No one.
Why do you think?
Everybody wants Jews to die. Everybody thinks that not only about the Palestine matter, everybody I have, a lot of people that I met in my life that they would tell you, oh, you know, yeah, but they're Jews. They are all lawyers and they're bankers and they're stealing and killing people and they don't care. They say stuff like that a lot. Europe is anti-Semitic, anti-Semitic to the core. And now with the inflation of the Syrians that is becoming even more Muslim-oriented, it's gonna happen in no time that Jews won't fly in Europe for safety reasons. Where Europe was the safest of the continents, because in US it wasn't as safe, but Europe was safe. Now it's not anymore at all.
Why you think that they think like this?
I don't know how it began. I don't really know the story. I know for a fact that people that are fanatics, like, you know, I think it's from Germany what started, from the Holocaust, that they were saying, you know, they're taking over. And the same thing happened to Jews in the Exodus. The Egyptians were afraid that the Jews will take over. So, you know, they were enslaving them and trying to keep them low, killing their kids and blah, blah, blah. In the end, the good thing is that they survived. Now, when I came here and I learned all the news from the other side, because in our news, they don't say, a Palestinian stabbed the girl in the head, so the Israeli army killed him. They don't say that. They said, Palestinian shot dead by Israeli soldier. And then, under they say, because he stabbed, you know, yeah, okay, they say it, but second. Like the headline is in your face, look at the Jews, they're killing the Palestinians. Which also drives me crazy, why Gaza is not still today, why it's not a parking lot. It's also driving me crazy, I don't know why this is happening, but okay. Now, when I came to this country, I didn't know much. I started hearing the news from here and reading the news from Europe. And I realized that it's all bullshit. It's all a lie, what's happening on the news. Everybody's, you know, every country has something to gain from a specific point of view. So they're showing this specific point of view and not the reality about Israel. Because of that, I grew to be like kind of a small Zionist. So I want to do the conversion to be Jewish and to have a Jewish wedding and to have a Jewish life, but I mostly want to have kids that are Jewish, Israelis and Jewish, that they go to the army, serve this country and help it survive. Because it's surrounded by enemies. I've never in my life seen something like that. I don't know what war is. I grew up in Greece. Pretty much we don't have something like that. We never had a threat, an actual threat, you know. First time in my life I had an alarm and I knew that I have to go because there is a rocket and it's not a test, was here. It was shocking, but I got used to it. Now nothing happens. The alarm is ringing, I get up. In the beginning I wanted to get dressed, you know, because I had pajamas. But now I go with the pajamas and the dogs out, everything normal. It stops, I wait like 10 minutes, then I continue. Usually I take a smoke with me as well, you know, but I'm angry that the world is becoming this way. Because Jewish people, in all honesty, yes, there are some powerful people. I know Goldbergs in America, they are economically strong right now, and they're doing, you know, they have an economic office, and they're playing all day with the money of people. I know that. But on the other hand, that doesn't mean because one person is like that, you have to follow, you know, that the whole nation is like that. So it's pissing me off a lot. It's pissing me off because Israel is making discoveries every day. I read about bones that grow from salts from the desert and inserted in your body that Israel did. I read about look, I was in high tech. Israel invented the USB stick. You know, so it's funny how people want to boycott Israel, but they use all the products of Israel because it's badass, you know? So what are you gonna do? If I tell you, you know, you can put a plastic, now that you completely shattered your bone, or I can grow a bone for you and put it in. If I tell you that if you come to my office, to my doctor office, okay, and you blow, I can tell you if you have cancer, because now this is a new discovery of Israel. So, yeah.
When you came here, and you did all very, very painful process, like going, leaving, waiting.
Well, the hardest part was to wait for my flight 3 days in a place that they were keeping us with a lot of Russians, some criminals also that were trying to smuggle drugs, and me. That I came for my boyfriend. Then inside that cell, those 3 days, there was nothing to do. It was like a cell, you know, with bunkers, like you have in the army here, I heard. And I was sitting there. So a woman told me, listen, because you don't speak Russian, we only have one book here that you can read in English. You want it? An African girl left it. I'm like, oh yes, give me whatever, because the time is not going. You don't have a phone, you don't have nothing. You're like a prisoner. So the book was the autobiography of Golda Meir. And I read the whole book. It was a big book. I had, like, it was so interesting at some point that I got shocked by what she went through. I understand that not many people in Israel agree that she was a great prime minister, but at the same time, what she went through until she came and she was president when Israel was declared a country, like my hair are standing. It was very touching, the story. So, okay, the process hurt me a bit because I was waiting. I had to be away from my boyfriend. He had to work here because we had to hire a lawyer. It was a lot of money. He couldn't come and visit a lot. I was sitting there waiting for Israel to decide if I am endangering the country. And, okay, it was very hard, that part. Hurt me a lot, but I really understand why they did that. And right now I hear about, you know, I am in a group on Facebook that people have the same issue with me, and I hear stories. I'm trying, you know, to put some input in that, tell them, you know, be patient, do that, bring this paper, bring them this paper, because Israel is 24/7 under the threat of war. There isn't another country in this state, blooming, having a crazy economy, crazy scientists, and at the same time waiting for a rocket to fall, because basically this is what we're doing here. We're sitting and, you know, we're waiting. What time? Maybe a rocket will fall, you know. It's like that. So I agree 100%, yes. Maybe you will make someone's life harder, but check first, because it's fucked up what's going on here. Sorry, but it's crazy. The terror and the ways they're trying to get in the country and the ways they're trying to destroy the country, basically, are crazy. I heard about I never in my life did I hear. I heard about phones that explode, like trapped phones that explode. Not in the movies, I didn't. Yeah. So I agree.
You're gonna
I
live
understand. I'm living here, and I want to have a son or two that will serve the army, not in an office. I want my sons to be on the field. I want my son to be ready for when they come to kill people.
So you feel that this is your country?
Yeah.
After all of this?
If I could right now, I have some houses in Greece that I cannot, you know, exactly do something because the economy is bad and I don't want to sell. But if I could get rid of everything I have in Greece, except my passport, in case I want to fly for my family, I would do it right now. Right now. If my family would come once, twice per year here, with my friends, all of them, and I could see them for a few days, I would never go back to Greece except for some vacation in some islands that it's cool. That's it.
Earlier, I asked you about מרכז קליטה, that you said that you never went because you're not Jewish, and it's not the process that you have to
No,
to be part of.
Olim come basically.
Yeah. So where did you study the language?
I paid to go to Ulpan. I finished Ulpan Aleph, and now I am in Ulpan Bet.
What is the process of the Ulpan? I don't know.
The Ulpan, basically the Ulpan Aleph is Olim come in a Merkaz Klita, like I went to Merkaz Klita Yaelim, okay? They had a project, you sign up, they have a project, they tell you, listen, in 5 months, we're expecting to have classes. So I waited, I paid 3,000 shekels, and for 5 months, every day, 5 hours, I was studying. The basics, because Hebrew is a crazy language. First of all, you read the other way than most of the languages. So, for example, I come the first day in Israel. I get on the train with my boyfriend from Tel Aviv to Beersheba. He gets a free newspaper. So he starts to open the newspaper like that. And I tell him, why you open it from the end to the beginning? Why are you weird? He's telling me, this is the beginning. That's how we read. We read like that, not like that. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? How did I come here without knowing this? Yeah, after, the shock of my life was that I could not read anything. There was, you don't know Spanish, but you know English. Okay, you can read some words, you can, there are some, nothing, I could read nothing. Like, I wanted to make a pasta, I could not read how many minutes it needs to be ready. So I was dependent completely on my boyfriend, which drove me crazy first because I was very independent. And also I was worried because it would put at all on our relationship, not being independent, not having friends here, so I can tell him, listen, I'm going out with my friend, do what you want with your friends. We didn't have that in the beginning, at all. So I was in the house, and I would go to the supermarket or anywhere with him. Everything, he was my entire world. Also hard. But I was too much in love, so it passed fast. It was okay. Now I have, friends that I made from the Merkaz Klita, friends that I made from girlfriends of his friends, that I will text, that I will maybe meet and go out for a coffee or do something, So I'm starting to have a life because it's hard for me to make friends too. So now after 3 years, life is kinda getting into place. It wasn't easy at all in the beginning. Yeah, well, okay.
I'm very optimist.
Me?
Yes.
I'm not. I'm not optimistic, generally, at all. But it's life here, how it makes you feel. The people are, happier than other places that I've been. Yes, they are very warm, sometimes, very, open-hearted, too much, but at the same time it puts you back to reality because I was starting to become, a very cold, distanced person. I wasn't touching people anymore like I was doing younger. I wasn't laughing with my heart, to laugh for the whole neighborhood to hear. Now I'm doing that, I'm being, 100% myself. No one is feeling that I'm weird. No one is telling me, oh my God, no.
So
the only problem they have here with me is that I talk about sex too openly. And people are like a bit, oh my God, don't say this. Oh, why? You know, I have no taboos about. So I talk about it too openly, I make jokes to people, and they get a bit so. Other than that, I don't have any issues. I'm like home.
So
I'm home.
you said that back in Greece you never felt like you could act out.
I was not. I was an
yourself.
outcast in Greece. You know, I was not the girl that will go with her friends to talk about the nails. I would do it because I had no other girlfriends that were actually into something else, deeper. But at the same time, I didn't like it. I didn't like, you know, being too girly. I was interested in games. I'm very interested in fast cars. My father is a mechanic, so I learned next to him a lot. And I know about cars, a lot of stuff. I was interested in stuff that you cannot do with girlfriends easily, generally. So, yeah.
And
I was an outcast. I was the weirdo in Greece. Like I was a geek all day with the computers. And then my friends were saying, oh, did you see that singer? Did you go to this singer's concert? And I was like, no, I don't like this music. And they were like, what? You don't like it? Oh my God. What's wrong with you? You know? So I was an outcast. Now here I feel better. Because everybody is accepting my crazy just fine. You know? They say that I'm a little bit problematic, but they're fine with it. In Greece, people were not that fine.
Okay, thank you for the time that you gave us.
Thank you.
We learned a lot from you about your process.